Welcome to another Cloud Underground event. We have some big announcements because not only are we going to tell you how you can learn how to make some jobs with Cloud Underground, or get a job for that matter, but right now we're in the business of making jobs, which is going to probably help people who need them too, inevitably. So, how is that going to work? For those of you who are either building businesses or learning how to get funding, basically you have an idea that you're trying to MVP to funding. So you're trying to go from idea to funding. Is that you? Is that something that you need for your business of any size? Talk to us because this is going to be how you can contribute to our funding goals. Because while we teach others how to fund your ideas your way, whether you want to raise venture capital, whether you're trying to learn how to build something that you might try to make an exit for.
Bootstrap like we did.
Yeah, you can bootstrap like we do. We teach everything from raising to bootstrapping, and our preference so happens to be raising funds by doing work for you or putting our people to work for you, so that our people get jobs, we can build more jobs, and we are building something that we've talked about for a very long time, and we've been talking about, we've been building this job board, we've been building this job board. Well, we have built everything that we need for what are called the drop squads job boards, and at this point, all we have left is to just open the floodgates and begin letting people sign up to receive services. So, whew, how does it feel?
It feels good. It's really exciting. It's been quite the journey to get here, and it's been a learning process. And if you have a lot to learn on your business journey, we can mentor you and help you figure out how you want to fund your dream and your idea. That's part of what we do in the Nexus Innovation Experience, and that is one way that you can help us fund is by joining the Nexus Innovation Experience, where you will get a whole startup team in a box, essentially, to help guide you on your journey from taking your idea from an idea to a funded business, essentially.
So how does this, so from idea to, so how do we help people go from idea
Well, it's a lot of self-discovery.
to funding?
Let's say that.
Idea to factory.
So again, you can join the Nexus Innovation Experience. A big part of that is the mentorship journey, because I think when we all start out, you have these feelings of like, I know I should be doing things, but I don't really know exactly what I should be doing. And that can be kind of an overwhelming and like anxiety inducing thing. And so a big part of what we are going to help you do is figure out exactly what it is that you do need to be doing and focusing on. And, like they say, prioritize the priorities and get rid of everything else. And that's a lot of what we help people discover and what we're here to mentor people through. And mindset is everything, really. You read a business book, that's a big part of what they're going to teach you is how to be a good business leader. You got to get your mind right first.
If you don't believe in yourself, it's super cheesy, but you won't believe in anyone else. You can't have employees if you don't believe in yourself, because you're not going to believe in them. You'll just be like, I don't believe in myself. And then you say, what are these people doing? They're not doing anything because I somehow think that I'm like a phony. Imposter syndrome, let me tell you something about imposter syndrome for anyone who's heard of it. The more you learn, it gets worse.
That's right. It very
doesn't
true.
Get better.
Mm-hmm. And eventually, either you get like consumed by this imposter syndrome and you just quit and go back to like your normal corporate job or whatever, or you realize that really nobody knows what they're doing. That's the beauty of this sort of being an entrepreneur, is you get to create your own role and you get to decide what it is that what are your virtues and how are you going to incorporate that into your business mission, and then how do you craft your role around those things. So it's really like you get to make it up as you go and figure it out as you go, and there's no wrong answer, really.
There's no way to
know. As long as you're doing the work to figure out your priorities, figure out what's going to like move the business forward, which is usually just marketing and sales. And or if you're doing like venture capital raising, that's part of it too, is you have to be able to prove that you can make sales in order to get somebody to invest in your business. So all things that we can help people learn more about and understand better.
Yes, and it's for as a business owner, for folks who are like, have business owner friends, and you're like, well, why don't you just go get like a normal job to your business owner friends? Well, think about this, because maybe you've thought about starting a business yourself, or who knows, maybe you run a business. But for someone who runs a business, consider that like if you have a job, someone somewhere had to learn or figure out how to make sure that what you do call like a normal job, someone has to have the not normal job where they guarantee that check shows up, or that literally that check doesn't exist without the person who's like, well, I guess I'm going to go and try to figure out how to make this thing. And then everyone else, after someone has figured that part out, which means that, think about it this way, millions of people have jobs. Millions of people with jobs know that they're going to get paid next month, and then millions of people who think that they're going to get paid next month do, like generally, unless and that's why like layoffs, people are like, whoa, all these layoffs, people freak out about the layoffs because it's actually less common that people are just like losing all their work and stuff like that, because that's business, which means that you can learn that skill too. You can be the person who learns how to build enough funds that, hey, next month isn't going to be like, oh, I have no idea if we're going to be in business. Your boss can't be saying that to you, which means that you can learn how to be that person one day. Anyone can learn how to be that person one day, even if it's just like a side thing where you're just like, oh yeah, this is just a side thing that I do. It costs a little money up front. It kind of doesn't move that fast, because business is a marathon. It doesn't go fast.
It is. And I get the comment from people sometimes like, oh, I just don't think I'm like the right type of person to be an entrepreneur or whatever. And I think part of that is like, is it what you want? Is this what you want?
Yeah.
If you want this life, then you can absolutely have it, but you have to want it, because it is a lot of work, and it is a lot of, again, like the mental work that you have to do on yourself, because you're your own worst enemy. Honestly, your inner saboteur is like the main thing holding you back, and
not everyone wants the same thing.
Not everybody wants it. It's not an easy life always. There's a lot of advantages, but there's a lot of hard moments as well. And so you have to be ready for that.
Yeah, it's a lifestyle more than a job. When you get a job, that's also a lifestyle. A job is like, okay, there's a routine of like when you wake up, when you do these things. That's a lifestyle. And for some people, it's like they're like, oh yeah, like I just want to wake up and okay, I know exactly what I'm going to do when I wake up. Okay. And then you can think about what next month will look like, and if that's what you like, great. But some people have a different lifestyle in mind. Like maybe you want to have more control over what your schedule looks like, or maybe you want to have more control over different options in your life. It's the same difference between like people who want to like rent or buy. Some people are like, you should never rent a house. You should never buy a house. There's people on both sides of like, you should never do this or you should never do that. Some people, if they're renting, maybe they don't care about like drilling holes in the wall and doing all this random stuff and like redesigning some stuff, and maybe they just don't care, and they maybe they like to move every 2 years, and like buying a house, it's like suddenly it's really hard to just move all the time, and maybe they're even like to travel, who knows. Or maybe you're a person who's like, oh, I've always wanted a house, I've always just wanted to like be able to redesign things. It's more
customize your space, yes.
Yeah, it's like your time goes into more than just like this is a house. It's like now your time's going into creating a vision. That house is not a house; it's part of a vision. If you're renting, then that's just everyone's vision's different.
Yeah, you just got to figure it out. What is it that you want?
You want a business? You want to just kick back? Maybe starting a business isn't the same as kicking back. It's just not. There's nothing wrong with either path. You can get a side income and have a job. You can get a job and have no side income and just like your job. You can just go work a business full time. Be like, yeah, this is sweet.
There's no wrong answer, really.
Yeah, do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So we are working on creating jobs ourselves. How can you contribute to building jobs with Cloud Underground? come one, come all, we actually are providing professional services where we pre-govern resources for you if you're trying to meet compliance, trying to meet security, and you also have IT needs. You want to automate that IT away. Did I say it? You could automate your IT away, anyways. And then, hey, whenever we do service with people, the money that we're generating also contributes to us building job boards that turns into additional jobs as well. So not only are you getting great service from us, you are also contributing to us growing a pipeline, since our favorite way to raise funds is we teach you to raise funds for making your ideas come true, is to work for people and provide actual services you could consider a form of crowdfunding. There are different types of fundraising. So anyways, I guess just so that people know really what is it that we provide before I kind of hop off here, we get off this little thing is, if you have a business goal or a career goal and you have something in your head, whether it's an idea for a new department that you have to get this idea in MVP out to market all the way to like a sellable or purchasable idea, or maybe you're not doing an MVP for a company, but you want to build your own business, whether it's a side company, whether it's a full-time thing. We help you learn how to build ideas that can generate funding in your way, how you prefer. So I guess I'll end with like just some examples of like, some people prefer to raise venture capital. It's a very different approach. So we might teach someone how to learn how to go and find an angel investor, or how to go and get their first seed funding, or how to get to their first, say, $200,000 raise. Or in some cases, some people might try to go and get venture capital where, okay, now they're looking for more like get a convertible round and try to get to a Series A and raise $3 million. Or everyone has different goals. Some people just want to bootstrap and just sell products. We just sell,
or just solopreneur. Products. If you just want a solopreneur, and sell your apps or whatever, then
make videos.
Yeah, it's
your idea. You bring your idea. We help you get your idea out into something that makes funding for you in your way, your thing, how you want it. So we're a venture capital firm. We are an asset management company. So that's just pretty much all we do. Is we are always actually fundraising, at least especially now, because we used to be doing a lot of product development. So what's different between us now and us before? Before we were building things so that we could just start getting to where all we do is fundraising, because we have crazy goals like building satellite technology.
That's right.
We are building satellite hosting in space, and that ain't cheap either. So that's the thing that we're really raising money for. That's so right. Also, if you do have space goals or bigger funds, we are also working on building out a hedge fund that's going to have $150 million just cap. We're not going to put more than that in that particular fund as we're managing that. So if people are coming in and looking for figuring out how to build out investment options and things like that, we are also working with people who are trying to figure out funding things.
That's right.
For us, we have satellite goals and satellite technology that's got to get up into space so that we can have hosting up in space. We've built out all the things. We have our own prototypes. It's not just this idea anymore, and we actually just have to raise funds, because how else am I going to raise $150 million over the next 10 years? It's not going to fall from trees, everyone. Let's go. So anyways, whether you're on that side of things where we are, where we're actually trying to get to these bigger goals, satellites in orbit, hosting in orbit, maybe your goals are smaller, like you just want to run a shop and just make a living. You don't need the kind of funding we need to learn that. We can absolutely help you learn how to take an idea to make an ebook company, or an idea.
Absolutely.
Simple things. Laura, what are some like low-hanging fruit that anyone could do? Just like a video company.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing I'm working on, is kind of a podcast production studio pipeline. There's 3D printing pipeline. Like, what are you interested in? Like, there's all kinds of stuff. Like, what is your hobby? If that's something you're interested in pursuing and making and monetizing, it might not be as much fun if you do. Just keep that in mind. But what are you interested in? What do you like doing? What are your passions? And is that something you want to try and turn into a career, or try and monetize or not? Yeah, there's a million ideas
And I
out there.
guess drum roll. We should probably end with one specific note on. We have a big announcement. We have a new partner. What's this new partner? What's this big
Oh
announcement?
yes,
Drum roll.
OpenZD and
OpenZD.
NetFoundry is our newest partner, and we're
Yes.
super excited.
Zero Trust.
Zero Trust. That's yes.
Yes, we're going to be building space technologies together. Say it again, Laura.
Space technology, Zero Trust, OpenZD. We're doing it. We're building. We're going to space.
Yes, we're going to
Help
space.
us get there.
Help us get to space. Anyways, yes, build with us. Go to space with us. I guess that's the whole
Yeah.
thing. Is everyone? Let's just get to space.
Let's
we
go
got
to
to do it. Let's
space.
go.
We got
Everyone
this.
knows you want to go to space. I don't know why, but we're going.
We're
and
going.
you can go with us too.
Come with us.
Even if you're not going to space, write some ebooks, make some money. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. So thanks, everyone.
Or whatever your idea.